Hey, welcome back to CJ Talks. This is anger and empowerment after divorce. So there was a time in my life where the only thing I felt after the divorce was anger, and not even the loud kind, not the kind where you just throw things and want to scream. It was the quiet kind, the kind that just kind of like sits in your chest, the kind that shows up in the middle of the night when the house is still and you finally get to hear your thoughts speak. I was angry at him. I was angry also at myself. I was angry at the years that I couldn't get back, and I was angry that I kept trying to fix something that was not mine to repair alone. I was angry that I stayed when I was unhappy. I was angry that I explained away all of the disrespect that I endured. I was angry that I kept giving chances when I really needed was courage, right? And if I'm being honest, I was angry that the world expected me to just move on gracefully, right? But no one talks about the rage that comes from betrayal. We don't talk about it enough, right? The rage that comes from realizing that you abandoned yourself while trying to manage to hold everything together in your marriage, right? There were days where I replayed conversations in my head and days where I imagined saying all the things that I swallowed in those moments. Days where I wanted him to finally understand the depth of what he broke, right? And then one day something just shifted. It wasn't because he apologized, because he didn't. It wasn't because I got closure, because I didn't. It wasn't because life suddenly became easier, because it didn't. It's because I got tired. I was tired, right? Tired of carrying this silent pain that was no longer producing growth for me, right? Tired of bleeding in places that had already been scarred. Tired of giving my emotional energy to a chapter that had already ended. I'll continue in the next video. And I'm back. The anger that once felt heavy started to become fuel. Fuel for me to rebuild, fuel for me to set boundaries for myself, fuel for me to stop negotiating my worth. It's not a negotiation anymore, right? I started realizing that anger isn't always destructive, right? Sometimes anger can be information, and information is powerful. It tells you where you were violated, right? It shows you where you ignore your own intuition. It exposes the places where you accepted less than what you deserved. And when I stopped seeing my anger as something shameful, I started seeing it as something sacred. It was protecting the woman that I was becoming, because empowerment didn't come from pretending that I wasn't hurt, right? Because what good is that going to do me? Empowerment, came from admitting that I was hurt, right? And choosing to stay in a place that was no longer suitable for me, right? So I learned that forgiveness doesn't mean access. I can forgive you, but you no longer have access to me. And healing doesn't mean that we need to reconcile anything, right? And growth doesn't mean going back to prove that you're different now. No, right? It means moving forward. It today I'm not angry. I'm not. I'm not where I used to be 2 years ago, right? Not because my past didn't matter, but because I matter more. I matter more, right? And I'm not trying to win the story anymore, right? I'm trying to rewrite a new one. So I'm okay with the version of the story that you're telling. I'm okay. I can be the villain in your story. That's okay. But the most powerful thing I ever did after my divorce was stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start realizing who I became because of it.